Today, we're going to try and untangle one of the biggest questions out there. Who are you really? We're diving deep into the threads of fate that might just be pulling your strings, more than you think. Just let that sink in for a minute. Every single memory, every feeling, every choice you've ever made, what if it wasn't yours to begin with? What if it belonged to someone or something else? And look, we're not talking about some grand delusion or living in a dream. The idea here is much more unsettling. It's that your very identity is an inheritance, a hand-me-down collection of experiences shaping you in ways you can't even begin to imagine. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This exact question, this massive, profound idea, is at the heart of these four incredible stories. And on the surface, they have nothing to do with each other. But each one gives us a totally different answer. So let's take a look into these four mirrors, shall we? Each one is going to reflect a completely unique way that our sense of self gets put together. And trust me, what they show us is, well, it's pretty wild. First up, we have Xenogears. It proposes this idea that identity is, well, it's an accumulation. Think of yourself like layers of paint on an old canvas. You're just the newest layer, built on top of countless past versions of yourself, and all their experiences are echoing inside you, even if you don't know it. Then there's Final Fantasy VII, which basically says your identity is a construction. You know, if your memories can be altered or edited or just completely swapped out, what's left to hold on to? What makes you you if your entire past can be erased and rewritten? Suikoden just flips the whole table. It suggests that identity isn't an inside job at all. It's collective. Who you are is defined by the role you play in something much bigger than yourself, a whole network of people and destinies. Your choices matter, for sure, but you're swimming in a current that started flowing long before you got here. And then there's Berserk. And this is by far the darkest reflection. Here, identity isn't something you find or build. It's what you become when everything, and I mean everything, is taken from you. It's forged in the fire of absolute suffering, not by choice, but out of the raw, desperate need to just survive. You see, no matter how that identity is formed, whether it's passed down, built, shared, or beaten into you, there's one thing that connects all these struggles. It's the search for power and the brutal price it always demands. Okay, so this is the one unbreakable rule here. Power is never free. It's a transaction, and you always pay upfront. You don't get the cool new ability and then lose something. No. The loss of your innocence, your friends, your own humanity, that's the cost of admission. So why does everyone want it so badly? Why do we all reach for it? Well, it's simple, right? We want control. We want certainty in a world that gives us none. But here's the kicker, and what these stories show so brilliantly. That control, it's a complete and total illusion. And this is where everything really comes to a head. All these big ideas, who you are, what power costs, the search for control, they're all on a collision course, and they slam right into the biggest question of all, about whether we have any real freedom. Seriously? Are you choosing anything? Or are you just an actor playing out a part that was written for you centuries ago? Are those your hands on the steering wheel? Or are you just along for the ride? It really boils down to this classic battle, doesn't it? On one side, you've got this crushing idea of determinism, that these huge, invisible systems like causality or destiny are the ones really pulling the levers. And on the other side, well, there's our stubborn belief in free will, the idea that no, we're the ones in charge of our own lives. So if that's the setup, if we might all just be cogs in a giant, uncaring machine, what do we do? Is it hopeless? Well, this is where we find the answer. Not by escaping the system, but by finding a way to live inside of it. Yeah, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If the game is rigged and the outcome is already set, why bother playing? Why get out of bed? Why fight so hard against something you can't possibly change? The answer is, it's not about changing it. It turns out the way forward isn't about breaking out of the maze. It's about how you walk through it. So step 1, you have to see the walls. You have to acknowledge the system is there. Step 2, you make a choice anyway. You assert your will, even if it feels pointless. And step 3, in that very act, that defiance, you create your own meaning. And that's the whole point, right there. It's so beautiful.
Maybe the goal was never to break the cycle, or change the world, or win the fight. Maybe the most rebellious, most powerful thing you can do is just make a choice that defines who you are. A tiny little flicker of defiance in the face of something massive and eternal.
So, at the end of the day, maybe meaning isn't some treasure buried out there for you to find. Maybe it's something you have to build yourself, piece by piece, choice by choice. Even when that choice feels impossibly small, the simple act of making it, that's the thing. Maybe that's everything.